Building relationships is a huge thing that they teach you at the Academy, and how crucial it is. It's the baseline that you need before you make any other steps in leadership.
The Great Lakes Leadership Academy brings together leaders from diverse audiences and exposes them to complex public challenges, along with creative, equitable, and inclusive approaches for addressing those challenges.
And the very first group, or I'll say one of the first groups I tapped, was GLLA. And so who stood up? It was people out of this program. They were able to reconcile differences, and they were able to chart a new course.
GLLA focuses on helping leaders transcend self-interest and create solutions for the common good. Participants invest in a life-altering personal growth experience. They learn to listen and take part in productive dialogue, create a culture of civic engagement, and develop uncommon connections that will lay the groundwork for lasting change.
It's just been a very transformative experience, for me, someone who grew up in the inner city, just venturing outside of the city and going to see this great state of Michigan.
It just pointed me in a different direction when it comes to leadership. It made me want to become more involved.
I was truly empowered by the experience to know that I can lead from any chair, and the Emerging Leaders Program is really an opportunity that I'm really grateful for.
The Great Lakes Leadership Academy delivers 21st century programs focused on developing leaders that can build trust and overcome persistent barriers to productivity and innovation.
I feel great gratitude and appreciation for the opportunity to be part of an endeavor that is bold and somewhat courageous in these times.
I would definitely encourage other people to apply for GLLA just because it opens up things about yourself and opportunities that you didn't know were there.
Before we started the program, I completed a PhD in leadership development. And the more I read, the more I learned. And as we began the program, the more I experienced it wasn't about the skills. It wasn't about the abilities of the individual leader. It was more about them as an individual person and the journey that they were on. I started out hoping to create something that didn't exist, push the envelope, provide opportunities that were different from what had been done in the past. Not that what was done in the past was not excellent, it served its purpose. But we had an open book, a clean slate, and we were able to bring together some pretty dynamic leaders like Bill Rustum and Vicki Ponce and Keith Cray and others to talk about and to travel the country and look at all of these different programs that existed, take the best pieces. But I think more importantly, we started out with the idea that this was a dynamic program, one that was going to change over time, one that was never going to be static. And perhaps that was part of the key to whatever success we've had. I think I'm most proud that we've created something that is going to be sustainable. There were lots of starts and stops before this. There were kind of two guiding principles. I wanted it to be something different, something that really pushed the envelope, that gave leaders an opportunity to take where they were and grow as a human being and as well as a leader, but also that the program could be sustained over time. And I think the diversity, again, was a key to that, because you have all of these interests, all pulling in the same direction, all contributing financially, but also contributing their leadership, their time, their knowledge to make something that hopefully continues to evolve over time and continues to attract the best of the leadership that we have today in supporting it.
we started this, we started focusing on fisheries and wildlife and then expanded to more natural resources because we have a systems approach. And we knew that in order to affect Michigan, which has a wonderful water and fishery resource, as well as wildlife and forestry, that really they were all linked together. And if we really wanted to have each other learn and have holistic solutions, we needed to have our students and our employees be better trained and better exposed to understanding why different disciplines do things differently and how they could then get together, merging those skill sets, appreciating what those different value systems are, and allow for a better solution to come forward and a more sustainable outcome, which would give a greater economy, greater sustainability, and greater enjoyment to the Michigan public.
We needed to be thinking about managing what we were doing, and we needed to think about working together and collaborating and job sharing and trusting. The purpose was always the same, it was to develop new skills, to do new work, and to be more effective at what they were doing.
We believe Spartans ought to be leading, and this was one format which we gave them more tools in their toolbox to be able to lead for the future. Eventually, almost all my students have been through the Great Lakes Leadership Academy Emerging Leaders Program.
What I was really after was to keep people growing and moving with the flow and being this continuous learner.
I'm very proud of working with John and developing an impactful program that we hope does change the future and the people's careers that we've touched.